Hi, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how family constellations actually works, because some people are a little bit confused about the actual process. So constellations can be done privately or in groups. It was originally created as a group process, but it still works just as powerfully in private. But what happens is I will have a conversation. If someone books a constellation, I have a conversation with you about what you want to look at for your constellation. So some people might come and say that, you know, they've got feelings going on that they, you know, don't want anymore, they're feeling depressed, or there's patterns that they can see repeating, or whatever the dynamic is. I might ask you a little bit of family history, and if you don't know any family history, that's fine too, but we'll have a conversation, probably only 15-20 minutes prior to the constellation. If you're doing a constellation in the group, when you come to the group setting, whether that be online or live, no one in the group will actually know any of that information about the conversation that we've had. And what you will do, depending on what we have discussed, you will ask people in that group to represent certain people in your family system, or whatever the dynamic is that's going on, whether that be people or whether that be elements. And so it might just be that you'll say, will you represent me? Will you represent my mum? Will you represent my dad? Will you represent, you know, my symptoms, or, you know, this block that I've got, whatever it is. And those people will represent for you. Again, they know no other information other than they're representing you, or mum, dad, or whatever it is. And what's phenomenal about the work is that they start to feel feelings that may not make sense to them, but relate to you and your family system and the dynamic that's going on. And so they might start to feel anger or sadness, or, you know, whatever the dynamic is. And through the constellation process, I'll help to lead the constellation, and just by what's being presented in the constellation, until it comes to some sort of resolution, and we start to see the dynamic that's going on in the family system or in the system. And it starts to reveal things that are the hidden dynamic that might be playing out in your life. At the end of the constellation, I'll bring you into the constellation to feel how it is now that this element has shifted. And after the constellation, I'll say to you, don't talk about it for 3 to 4 days, and allow your system, your nervous system, to continue to integrate what has happened in the constellation, because in the constellation we're working on past, present and future. And so it takes time for your nervous system to catch up with that. And what's interesting about the work is that people often report back to me that family members and people in their lives start to notice the shift, even though they don't know that they've done a constellation. And all sorts of dynamics start to shift and change in their life, in their world, with all the people around them. And so it's a really powerful process for those who want to come as a representative, maybe just to find out what it's about before they do a constellation. Or there's a lot of people who keep coming back to represent over and over again for a couple of reasons. One is they want to give back and help other people that helped them in their constellation. And also, representing helps you to train your nervous system to feel feelings and then let them go. And also, it's so empowering, and so we get so much compassion for other people and other people's situations when we represent. So a lot of people love to come back over and over and over again to represent, and I really, really encourage that. Regardless of if you've done a constellation before or not, come and join us either way. So have a look at my website. There's lots of different dates, online or live, and I would love to see you then. Take care. Bye.